Aries, hi and welcome to your Aries February 2020 reading. Great to see you. I have a couple of announcements to make before we get started. The first thing is that a lot of people are asking me, can I provide personal readings? The answer is yes, now I can, because I've set some time aside from the ordinary readings that I do where I live. And you can find my email address in the description below. Shoot me an email, no obligation, and I'll tell you how we can go from there. The other thing is this, is that because of the number of readings that I'm now doing, I'm going to change the schedule of when I produce the videos, and so they will normally be released now in the first week of the month for the following month. For example, the first week in February will see the readings for the year of March. And the other thing I was going to say is that a lot of people have asked me, what is that artwork that you have behind you? And here it is. So there you go, that satisfies your curiosity. Anyway, let's get things underway. One of the first things I'm going to do is just pull a card here, which is going to set, if you like, a sort of a general theme for the reading. And that card is this one. Whatever this happens to be. Reflection. I'm also going to have a look at 3 playing cards to see if there's anything minutely appropriate to you for this month. And we shall see what they say in the context of these tarots that I bring. This is the 7 of Hearts, the 4 of Spades, and what do we have here? The Ace of Spades. Okay, now let's get the tarot underway, shall we? This is a beautiful deck, beautiful artwork in it, and so the reading that I give to you will be quite mystic, I think. That's why I wanted to make sure I had those other playing cards that were available, which can provide something very concrete. This reading is one that I think you'll enjoy. Certainly, it's great to see all you current viewers and returning viewers, more to the point. And it's obviously one which is here for us. It is, the 5 of Feathers. Let's see what this is. The Hierophant. The 3 of Cups. It's always a good card, I think, isn't it? The 3 of Cups. There is the 3 of Feathers to go with the 3 of Cups. And here is the 4 of Coins. Okay, as usual, come and sit down. Wow, we've got cards everywhere. We'll have a look at these and we'll do the reading together. All right, my beloved Aries, I think you might be in for some soul searching this month. Let's have a look at the main theme for you. This main theme, which is one of reflection. Reflection, I think it's a time for you to consider where you are and what it is that you think, and in particular what your values are. Now, you know more than anybody that you are capable of rushing into a number of things. You have a great degree of optimism, and sometimes that optimism is misplaced. However, you do have such a good mind, and you have such a good energy about you. You have such good karma, such great vibrancy, beauty, good looks, attractiveness, that people like you, fairly or not, are able to get by in the world. But this is telling you that you need to consider where you stand at the moment and ask yourself, is the direction in which I'm heading the right one? Are the people with whom I'm associating the right ones? Is how I am handling a situation the right way to be handling it? And the rest of these cards, I have to say, kind of bear out this same message that's coming from this overall thing here. We have a look at this card, which is the 5 of Swords. Now, the 5 of Swords, what can we say about it? Well, astrologically, it's Venus ruling the first decan of Aquarius, that 22nd of January to about the 29th of January.
Venus in Aquarius. Well, Venus rules Taurus, which is an earth sign. But here we have Venus ruling an air sign, being Aquarius in this card. Now the two are at odds. Venus is a lover and not a fighter, whereas Aquarius is a rebel, and it is ruled by Uranus. And Aquarius is a fighter, usually for causes. So the individualistic and dispassionate nature of Aquarius clashes with Venus, the planet of relationships. Venus can also be overwhelmed by the very fiery energy of Mars, which I also see coming into this card through my mystical association with the number 5. But really the essential element of this card is that of fear, and it is distorting your view of the present and of the unknown in your future. And this is represented by the symbology in this card, I think, which seems to indicate a feeling perhaps that there could well be some turmoil in your mind in the future. This can sometimes relate to a betrayal or a sneak attack by someone that you trust and don't suspect as being your enemy. Your fear, and I think as I say this is about fear, is maybe the result of losing control emotionally due to previous hurts from relationships, is what I'm feeling here. Or it could be connected with the workplace where you've had a bad experience which stops you from expressing yourself fully as your confidence has taken a bit of a battering and you have somehow felt lost as a result. I'd have this thought in mind, and it is, I accept my fear and let it go. I am not my fears. It is safe for me to live without guarding and defending myself all the time. And when I do feel afraid, I open my heart and let love dissolve the fear. Now this is paired with this card, incidentally, with another sword card, but it's overcome by this 3 of Cups that's in the middle here. But let's have a look at this card. I'll get to these in due course. Here we have the 3 of Swords. Here you go. What this card means for you this month is that it's about touch and pain, a necessary cut that liberates you from old fears and feelings of guilt, memories trying to tie you to old patterns or experiencing and thinking, just as the blood on these feathers is not real, but only red paint. Repetitive memories of past hurts are also without reality or substance. By cutting and separating, you can touch upon something new, a new destiny and an expansion of your mental capacity. Let's have a look and see what there is in store, because I did mention, before I get to that 3 of Cups, I'm going to talk about this Hierophant that's here, because this is also to do with reflection. And let's see what the Hierophant has to say. The Hierophant, the knower of stars, priest, shaman, initiated into the movement of the planets and the wisdom of the serpent, guarding the keys to the realm of the unconscious. The gesture of your hand shows your calling, enlightened to choose the way of service, transforming suffering into knowing. And I think you will come to know the meaning of the universe, because it is providing to you a breath that heralds your very existence. This is Venus in Taurus with Mercury exalted. Very good astrologically, because Venus, of course, is the ruler of Taurus in ordinary astrology. Let me pull this out while we see what else it has to say for you. Well, I call this the Magus of the Eternal Gods. It indicates the need probably for you to follow some rules or regulations or traditions in your life, a period of, I think, sort of intense learning and study. boning up on things or researching things over the internet. It can sometimes refer to the betrothal of people or an invitation to come and live with someone. If you're in a particular company or an organization which is large, you're going to be doing very well. There is, however, the possibility that there are problems in the workplace that are stopping you from reaching your potential. And I think that what this is also saying to you is this, that I honor the sacred within me. I am inspired by learning and teaching. I am creative and productive in my family and in my professional life. And you certainly are. What we also see here for you is that you could well be very gifted at imparting information and inspiring others, committed to the concept of community even. I think you'll be very attracted to music and sound during this period, and you'll be very good at listening and speaking, and you will want to make your ideas tangible and make things happen. It's almost as if there is because this has come up, that there could well be issues around family which need to be integrated, and you'll know what that means. Let's have a look now at the central card of the Three of Cups. And what this card is saying to me is that there is, I think, the great possibility here for you of celebration, sharing, not leaving, but perhaps stepping out of the cozy limits of some twosome sort of intimacy. That could be with a partner or could just be with your best, whatever. There is, I think, the transition period here for you, and new contacts are being celebrated. The boundaries of everyday life shift and expand from you. This is also saying for you, notwithstanding these cards that are here, that is, these sword cards that are here, for you to forget your worries, but don't suppress them. It's talking about a new beginning, a fluid sense of being in the present. Images and roles changing, celebrating, playing, dancing, and communicating nice and easy. A celebration could well be unfolding and cleansing. Heavy emotions, I think, transform into lightness and into joy. The card is particularly fortunate for you because it is the Lord of Abundance, and it is Mercury in the second decan of Cancer. Cancer, the most maternal of the signs, and well placed with the number 3, which is about gestation, creation. So I think that you'll find that you'll be able to communicate your feelings really well, and they are saying to me that your feelings here are talking about an abundance in relationship settings, an abundance that comes, the birth of an idea or a goal, possibly hearing the birth of a child, sharing success with others. Life is feeling good, and it's a good time to tell other people that you love them, and it's a good time to boost the morale of other people. So karmically important. You know, when you go up to a stranger, not in a weird way, and just say to them, maybe in a shopping mall, and say, look, I love that color on you, it looks fantastic. Then they say, well, this is something which no one said to me before, and they feel $1 million. And that is it, $1 million. And you will have reward 1,000,000 times over. Here we have the 4 of coins. What do we have here, 4 of coins? Are you in focus? Well, the thoughts that are coming through to me is about you occupying a space. That which was once was a new experience condenses itself in, and as a result of this number 4, it becomes clear, solid, and structured. Our boundaries, fences are being drawn. Securing things leads to a sense of security for you, the necessity to establish limits. If you become obsessed with limits, however, they will turn into a prison for you. And this card really contains 4 different possibilities: a solid, clearly defined space, the security that arises out of it, the power of boundaries as expressed in terms of security and imprisonment, and also about going beyond all limits. It's a card which allows you to set things in motion. 4 of the earth element: occupy your space, establish limits, structure yourself, and come to rest. Now, what else can we say about it? Well, I think what we have here is the sun in the 3rd decade of Capricorn, the lord of earthly power. That third 20 to 30 degrees is the 13th to the 21st of January. So it might, depending on when you're looking at this, be quite apt. Capricorn is a feet on the ground, eye on the prize sign. And those with the sun in Capricorn have a realistic, grounded approach to life, don't they? And this can happen no matter how challenging the rest of their birth chart happens to be. The sun energizes the Capricorn earth, and material benefits and or power are the result. The sun in astrology is the symbol of your dynamism or power, and Capricorn is the application of that power in a useful way. So I think we have strong foundations, stability. A tight rein over your budget, I think, is something which is coming upon you at the moment, and I think you'll become quite financially cautious, saving for the future and protecting yourself. This is a very material card. This is a very material card. I think, though, that it does talk to you about saying that you may be tested not to give up your personal power and integrity, is what I'm getting at this time. You need to discriminate about where and to whom to say no. Sometimes you need to pull the windows down and close the doors and stay within your inner sanctuary so that you don't give too much of yourself away. But I do see here the seeds, the energy in motion for financial and material security, which I think is very important to you at the moment. And I think you'll begin to build up assets, as a result of you exercising sound judgment over time. I think you are, however, willing to work for what you want, and you will have confidence in applying yourself to the world. You'll be seen as being a dependable person who acts with integrity. And it's such a good card. I think this one really does talk to you being able to fulfill your personal dreams and ambitions. Let us now have a look at these cards here, shall we? Bring them in and bring them down so that you can have a closer look. This is from a different spiritual realm. Let's have a look first, shall we, at I call this, let's have a look at this 7 of Hearts here. Now, what the 7 of Hearts, I think, is saying for you is that it's almost like a card of doubt. Or are you dealing with someone who's something of a bit of a fly-by-night character? It can sometimes represent challenges in love and relationships, and it could mean that you are dealing with a fickle person. It's time to reflect. And here it is again, isn't it? Reflect. It's time for you, I think, to reflect on how others see you and how you see them. And it's possible that you may feel, let down if someone is being unreliable or non-dependable. and they let you down as a result. It can indicate lovesickness. It can also indicate that somebody is in love with you. Now here we have this Four of Spades, and isn't it good that this comes up where it does? This Four of Spades is a card which really talks about, oh God, good, it's relief, it's rest from all the aggravation that's going on in my life. It's a time when I can basically have step inside the house from outside the storm. It's usually also for me really talking about, for you, foundation and stability, and that's because of this number 4 that's here. But it can sometimes talk about fragile foundations on something, so be aware of that. And it can sometimes speak of traps which may be being laid by people that you can go into. The old Rider-Waite deck, which I don't really ever use that much, but there is a coffin that's sort of on there. It can kind of speak of a trap that's there. But I think what this is for you saying is that it's representing stability in work and in health. Now, there are some minor worries that you have. There's a possibility of a minor illness, a cold or a flu or something, minor financial troubles, but you should expect recovery from those soon. It can also, it must be said, relate to broken promises, so be aware of the broken promises. And then finally we have the Ace of Spades here. Well, the Ace of Spades, don't be concerned about it. A lot of people see it as being the death card, but it depends on where it's placed and what cards are around it, and there's nothing relating to death surrounding this for you. Because it traditionally deals with death, but it can also talk about rebirth and rechanges. Aces are about endings, and they're also about beginnings. And I'm not concerned about the spade suit. In fact, I think the spade suit is really good. It's got an unfair rap. When these cards talk to me, they have good things to say, and I think that this is saying to you that after this period of respite, where you have done this reflection, and where this Hierophant has said, well, you're looking at things which are probably to do with putting yourself away a bit, that this may well be resulting in something of a rebirth for you, I think. Yeah, I really do think that. I also get the feeling around here of government buildings or government business, so you could be having things to do with the government or with government business. It can also represent what can be a difficult or troubled ending to something, but because this line starts with this nice 7, red 7, I don't think the difficult or troubled ending is one that's actually going to be of great concern to you over time. So that's the way it is for you this month. Well, there you go. It looks like it's going to be an absolutely fantastic month for you, and that's great because you deserve it. And I have to say, you were fantastic during that reading. All that remains for me to say is this, and remember it always, that you are a legend, and I look forward to seeing you again next month. Until then, bye for now.